Hello, everybody. Welcome to the season 2 premiere of Who is Better. I am your host, Daniel, joined by my other two hosts.
It's bourbon.
And it's Chris.
So today we're going to be looking at another long stemming rivalry. These two have been best friends for nearly 2 decades. They had rivalries in PWG and Ring of Honor as Kevin Steen and El Generico. They went to NXT and continued their war as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They continued their war on the main roster. And then Sami Zayn turned heel after the betrayals, multiple betrayals Kevin has gave him to become an ally of his in battle against against Shane McMahon in, his little authority, I guess you could say, in 2017. And ever since then, the two have been on quite unique paths. They have not been rivals again, but that rivalry could rekindle someday as well. So, with all of this being said, they both have accomplished a lot in multiple companies. I'm going to be supporting Sami Zayn, and Chris will be supporting Kevin Owens. So, and Berman, of course, is going to be our judge. So, of course, let's dive right in to this Who is Better. The first category is entrance and theme. Now, entrance and theme. Kevin Owens' theme is currently Fight, while Sami Zayn's theme is currently This Is It. Now, this is going to be quite honest. Sami Zayn's theme, I hate to be honest again, is a little generic. Even the NXT one, I would say, didn't really have too much going for it. I mean, the ole, ole, ole thing, it's cool for the crowd to interact for, but it's nothing special. I hate to discount it because Sami Zayn's my boy, but when it comes to entrance and theme, I won't deny it. I think Kevin Owens has the better theme and the entrance going for him.
Yeah, I don't mean to diss or anything, but how whoever was responsible for this, like, how dare you take Worlds Apart, which is a banger? Because I was really concerned because I thought you were gonna use that, and I was like, oh, this goes much harder. But unfortunately, whoever's in
No,
charge
Worlds
now,
Apart does go harder, and this new theme is kind of ass in comparison to it.
so I don't know who was in charge of it, but you have to give it a fight. I mean, come on, Fight On's so good. It's Kevin Owens. It's hype. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect Sami Zayn or anything, but This Is It is as genetic as you can possibly get.
Well, the funny thing is, WWE recently have been replacing a lot of wrestlers' themes. Riddle was another person who had this happen to him as well. And it's actually because WWE no longer feel like paying for these theme songs, unless if you're a Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, or Seth Rollins.
Why would they change Riddle's theme? It's so good. It's just bro.
His new one sounds pretty similar, to be fair, but it's not as good.
Oh.
They did the exact same thing with Ilya Dragunov.
And Ciampa, they didn't feel like paying for No One Will Survive anymore either.
Oh. So I guess Berman, your thoughts? Which is the better theme?
Well, I gotta say that I actually love Sami Zayn's theme because I think his theme just sounds good. It's very upbeat sometimes when you hear it, and the ole 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 is really nice. So I always love Sami Zayn's sounding. And when you say it is generic, it is funny because he used to be called El Generico, so it's fairly funny.
Yeah, I actually think
So
I think they're both generic, but I think the new one is definitely more generic.
yeah, but I'm gonna give it to Owens because I love the sound of the guitar and everything. So Owen.
Okay, Owens 1, Sami 0. Next category. Next category is the finishers. Owens has the package pile driver. And the stunner, which is adapted from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Sami Zayn has the Helluva Kick, and the Coochie Clutch. Now, if I'm being honest, even though the Coochie Clutch hasn't been used as often these days, I think it is a very cool submission finisher. And yes, multiple wrestlers have done it, but I feel like the way Sami Zayn executes the Coochie Clutch is done very, very well. And I could say the same thing about the Haluva kick. It's a move that can't really be very convincing as a finisher, but I feel like Sami Zayn gets the job done when it comes to making the Haluva kick a convincing finisher. Now, don't get me wrong, I like this stunner, but I feel like Kevin Owens doesn't really hit as good of a stunner as, the original. But his package pile driver is pretty damn cool. I'll give him credit. But I feel like, honestly, when we're comparing these guys' finishers, I would personally give the point to Sami Zayn.
And then for me personally, I can respect Sami Zayn, but I think Kevin Owens' finishers are a little bit better, and it fits him. Since what I like about him, he doesn't look like your average wrestler. You expect him to be like buff or whatever, but Kevin Owens is more of like he's a bigger dude, right? So the package pile driver, it's good for him because it shows off like what he can do. He can grab opponents, and it looks harsh and it looks brutal with all that weight and places carrying the guy. And plus, it's very dangerous and it sells to me almost all the time. But he doesn't do it as much as the stunner because the stunner was given to him originally by his mentor, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I think it's a good torch pass. And Kevin Owens does it justice. So for the finishers, I'm going to give it to Kevin Owens just for those two reasons. Now, Bourbon, you take it away.
Indeed. Burton, take it away.
Yeah.
Be the one to settle this.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard because I actually love a lot of these moves. To me, pop-up powerbomb is more my style of Kevin Owens finishers. So, but I still like the package power driver. He did use it sometimes in NXT, did a little bit, and the stunner's nice. But the impact isn't always. It always doesn't look great for me. So I actually like more of the Hoover kick. It has more impact and it looks more believable when Sami Zayn does it. And the Kochi clutch, fun. I always love seeing a Kochi clutch from anyone in general. You don't see that very often, but it's fun. So I'm actually gonna give this to Sammy.
All right. KO 1. Sammy 1. Next category. Now, the third category is the move set. Now, I'm going to get real pretty quickly here. Kevin Owens has a great range of a move set. He has the Swanton Bomb, the top rope moonsault. He has the jump from the apron elbow drop to the outside. He has the gut buster and seated senton combo. He has the corner cannonball. He has like a package side slam. He has senton bombs off the top rope. Kevin Owens can really do a lot of cool moves in general. There is no denying about it, especially for again, as you mentioned earlier, someone his size. It is pretty impressive for those things to do. But when we're talking about impressive, I feel like Sammy's moves are more impressive. For example, the legged, the springboard split legged like moonsault he does to the outside is genuinely really fucking hard to do and keep your balance on, if I'm being genuinely honest. And 90% of the time, he's able to hit that very successfully and make it look beautiful. Maybe there have been one or two instances, but outside of that, he's able to do that beautiful. His sentons, maybe some of, over the rope sentons, might be some of the best in the game. His Blue Thunder bombs look amazing. His corner exploders look great. His sunset flips look fantastic. And Sami Zayn, he might not have the widest range of moves, but his range of moves is, easy to go to. It has, a great range of strength, athleticism, many kinds of things. And again, KO has those things too. I'm not going to deny him that. But I feel like Sami Zayn genuinely feels more like a wrestler to me when it comes to his overall moveset. And I feel like, despite how great both of them are, I have sensed more classics out of Sami Zayn than Kevin Owens, thanks to his moveset that can wow the crowd sometimes. And again, I'm not discrediting KO at all. He is a great in-ring performer, but I just think Sami has that undeniable edge on him when it comes to the moveset.
That was beautiful. But what I like to compare him. I know it sounds cheesy, but for Kevin Owens, I kind of feel like he got a little bit of the John Cena. Like he's not quite the cheeseburger. Not fat shaming, by the way. So don't fucking cancel me on Twitter for this shit for out of context. But with Kevin Owens, I like him, like you said before, because he's a bigger dude. So it just see him doing like little frog splashes, and he has his springboard moments and his suplexes. It's impressive. But personally, what I really like about him the most is overall his cannonball thing, because I don't really see that often. Maybe of course from Brody King, but Kevin Owens, it fits him. It's so good. Plus he has his super kicks, his stunners. He does everything down to the basics, but he can sell it well. And since he's a bigger guy, it gives him better points. Like it may not be as fancy as Sami Zayn, but don't discredit him because he also has classics underneath his belt too. And he shows off a lot of his personalities with these movesets too. So
I never said that. Sorry to interrupt. I never
it's okay.
said that Kevin doesn't have classics. He definitely does have classics under his belt. I just feel like Sami has more classics under his belt.
Nah. They're pretty even. I like to think at least. At least your current Sammy is now. Ooh.
Well, so you're giving this to Kevin Owens, I shall assume.
Yeah.
Okay. So Berman, you settle this. Who do you think has the better moveset?
All right, so first off, it's surprising that you didn't mention anything for Sami Zayn, but he does that through the post DDT, that he just goes straight through the post into
Oh
a
yeah,
DDT.
that's incredible too.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, I think Sami Zayn has a great moves and everything, but I'm gonna give this to Kevin Owens just because I love how his moves look like it's more brutal. It's more impact to his moves and it has more power. And I love that his his pop-up powerbomb that he does used to be as a finisher, now it's a sit-out pop-up powerbombs most of the time. So I like that. So for me, I'm gonna go Kevin Owens.
All right, I can respect that opinion. Kevin Owens 2, Sami Zayn 1. Next category. Now, don't get me wrong. Kevin Owens is really, really good on the mic. You know, when it comes to his programs with Cena, Reigns, Heyman, Rollins, I'm not going to deny KO. He is very, very good on the mic. But when it comes to having a range on the microphone and telling a story, I gotta give it to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was the undeniable underdog storyteller in some of the stories in NXT, whether it was with Antonio Cesaro, Adrian Neville, or Kevin Owens. And each of these had a chapter into him growing as a professional wrestler. Hell, Shinsuke Nakamura. That was his some of the best feuds in his NXT run. And, you know, he was able to really be a convincing underdog face. And sure, maybe he may have been no, Dwayne The Rock Johnson on the mic, but every time he went on the mic, he was going to give you something genuinely compelling. And he was going to give you a reason to tune in every single week to the program that he's involved with. And then we flash forward to the main roster. And despite his poor booking, he is still able to put on some great matches, be rootable. And then when he turned heel, he was able to sell all of the crap that he was given as a villain. He was able to become one of the most genuinely funny and charismatic heels we have seen in a very long time. And he is one of those individuals that has brought, prestige to the Intercontinental title. He was an amazing, comedic cowardly heel in, feuds with AJ, Jeff, Brian, hell, even Johnny fucking Knoxville, which turned out to be an amazing match as well. To even say that the current Sammy is a joke, sure, he may not be no Roman or Brock, and he might get squashed here and there, but Sammy undeniably can definitely still have his great matches. And on the microphone, he absolutely kills it, no matter what program he's in, no matter what he's doing. He is able to be given the crap he is given and makes it work every single time. And again, Sammy has played more characters, in my opinion, and has had more range on the microphone than Kevin Owens has. And that is nothing against Kevin Owens. But when Sami really gets to shine on the microphone, he gets to shine on the microphone. So believe it or not, I'm giving this to Sami Zayn.
All right, it is for me. I'm gonna give it to Kevin Owens because it doesn't matter. You can even his shit with Ryback. It's so good. Like Ryback, out of all people, he can make it work. Kevin Owens shines at the mic skill. That's what he's best known for. He's great with all his opponents. And if I'm being honest here, fellas, Sami Zayn's not even that good. He was only good at NXT and he fell off, dude. He was
I
not even that
disagree with
good.
that.
He
I
is a
disagree with
joke.
that.
It's not funny. It's cringe. It's not a funny character. It's a bad character part on whoever's in charge.
I completely disagree with you. That's just me.
It's not just me, bro. Like you even gave it to yourself. Many of these examples come from NXT, and if you're taking Sami Zayn seriously now in 2022, you are a clown to believe he's
Maybe I
good
don't
at the
take him
mic.
maybe I don't take him seriously as a world champion, but I can definitely take him seriously as a very funny comedic weasel when it comes down to it. And sometimes you can throw him in main event situations, and obviously he's going to lose, but he can still make all of those things work, and that's the power of Sami Zayn.
But he's not even that creative of a villain. This has been done so many other times in the past with
Yes,
many other
it has been
wrestlers.
done so many times, but it's about how you perform with the character you're given. And that's basically my point for Sami Zayn. He's given crap and he's able to make it work every single time. Hell, even on SmackDown, undeniably. If I were to turn on SmackDown right now, one of the only reasons I would ever watch it would be for Sami Zayn.
You are insane. I will respect Sammy because I liked him a lot from his NXT, but his character now, I don't care if it's comedic or
Maybe
not, it's
maybe
bad.
it's not as okay. Hold up. Maybe just because it's not as good as his NXT days, you can't necessarily say it's bad.
It's never gonna be good as NXT because that was his peak moment, was that? And I'm not saying it's his fault
So
because
just
it's up to
because
the
someone's not in
producers.
their peak anymore means it's bad.
Yes, because
That's a bit. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
it's not. It's. I'm sorry, dude, but it's just my opinion. Like Sami Zayn is just a joke now. I respected him back then when he was a face. He was sure he's a great face, but when we're cutting mic skills, Kevin Owens sells it better because no matter who he's talking to, it's always a sell. And hell, he even has his own show. Does Sami Zayn even have that? He
You
doesn't
know
even
what?
have that thing, dude. The Kevin
We'll
Owens
we'll
show.
we'll agree to disagree on this one, my friend.
Fair enough. Well, Berman.
Hell, Berman, yes, take it away.
So this is gonna be interesting, and with the heat of these two for the mic skills, it's gonna be interesting because I don't agree that much with the Chris saying that Sami Zayn is bad. Not always. He's not always bad. I think he's good. He's a great guy if you like his type of wrestling. Yes, he's a coward. He's a weasel. He's a snake. What a lot of people call him is a snake. So it fits his type and his mic skills pretty good. With Kevin Owens, I think more for me is I think it's more believable when I think he's just a mean guy most of the time, and when he's a face, it worked him as his mic skills too. So I really do like more of Kevin Owens than Sami Zayn. Don't give any credit. I give a lot of credit to Sami Zayn doing a lot of things with all the shit that he gets, all the bad writings and stuff. But I think Kevin Owens gets more done with his writings.
All right. So Kevin Owens 3, Sami Zayn 1. Fifth category is who's the better face. So this is going to be quite interesting here. KO, I wouldn't necessarily call him a face that much. I mean, he had his 2-year run as a face, and he had his likable moments. He had some feuds where he shined really well as a face, whether it was against Shane, Seth, or Roman. But really, those are the only three I can really name. So if I'm being quite honest, though, Sammy, you basically called it out on the mic skills point. So
Yeah.
me and you can both agree on one thing. Even if you don't like his main roster stuff, you can at least appreciate his NXT stuff. So I think this point undeniably goes to Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn's NXT run was 2 years. KO's run as a face is 2 years. And I can very easily say Sami Zayn's face run in NXT was better than Kevin Owens' face run on the main roster, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's nail in the coffin. I can't really do anything outside of maybe the Roman Reigns things that we were talking before the podcast. But I didn't really see that as a face moment. I just kind of saw Kevin Owens just being Kevin Owens, so I can't really defend him. So I'm just gonna give it to Sami.
Same for me. It's going to be the same thing. I love Sami Zayn as in NXT was probably the best. Everyone tried to root for him. He was pretty much the ultimate underdog on NXT. So he's definitely going to win this.
Kevin Owens 3, Sami Zayn 2. Next category. Now, don't get me wrong. Kevin Owens is an absolute backstabber. When he backstabbed Sami, he backstabbed Jericho. And a lot of the things he does is for himself, but there's a twist. It's not only for himself, it's for his family. And it makes sense when you think about it. He's a bit of a dickhead about it, but it makes sense. That's why he cares about the titles. That's actually one of the main points in his Ryback feud you mentioned earlier was he cheated in the IC title match because no matter what, he's going to do what it takes to win and bring more money home for his family. That's his whole character, basically. And it's an understandable human character. So that's something I can genuinely appreciate. So for Sami Zayn, though, Sami Zayn is someone who kind of dealt with the betrayal he got from Kevin Owens. And, it affected him, when it came to winning championships. He never won the NXT title again after Kevin Owens beat him. And, less than a year later, he spent the majority of that year injured. And he left NXT and went up to the main roster. And obviously, his fate, he just ate a lot of losses as a face. And he was made an example out of multiple times on the main roster by Kevin Owens as well. So this all genuinely caused Sami Zayn to snap eventually. If you can't beat your enemies, you have to join them. And, he forgave Kevin Owens over the years. But genuinely, all the betrayal, all the hurt, all the pain genuinely made him a psychopath, you can say. So despite what you want to say about his current character, even though I think his current character is great, I think the little things that Sami Zayn adds on to his character work is what makes me admire him more as a heel than Kevin Owens. So, with all that being said, I'm actually going to give this heel point to Sami Zayn.
All right, fair enough. But overall, it's Kevin Owens, dude. It's literally his character. It's what he's known for. He's the kind of guy. Like he isn't necessarily. And I'm sorry, Daniel. I gotta do this to you. But his heel run right now for Sami Zayn, it's not selling to me. I don't care if he's cowardly or a weasel, or whatever he is now. That's not a very good heel. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's just as bad as the Young Bucks. Okay, that's how bad I'm comparing this heel run with Sami Zayn compared to Kevin Owens.
I thought you liked the Young Bucks.
I know it's I do like the Young Bucks, but this time I'm gonna have to bury them, like Cody Rhodes did to AEW.
He never buried the Young Bucks.
Right, but in for illness, I think as a heel, it's better for Kevin Owens. There's so many examples you can clearly go back to, but if you want a strong one, you can literally do that John Cena feud he had. And most of his matches, hell, he mostly just talks crap and he just kind of does his thing in the middle of his feud. So it's basic, but it's Kevin Owens. It's himself. So point to Kevin Owens as the heel category.
So, Berman, you take it away. I guess for Chris's point, Kevin Owens' heel work is basically what he's known for. He's been doing it for years. My main point is I think Sami can do KO's job just as good. And I think when it comes to the little things, I think he's more intelligent than Kevin Owens in that aspect. So, who would you give the point to?
This is gonna be hard because I actually love both of them I love both of them as a type of heel. But there's only one I love more as a heel just because he's a complete a-hole most of the time, or he's just plain being real to people, and that's going to be Kevin Owens for me. I like him as a heel a lot more than Sami, don't get me wrong, I actually like him as a comedic heel. He's pretty fun, but Kevin Owens is more of this ruthless heel.
All right, that's fair. So Kevin Owens 4, Sami Zayn 2. Even though Kevin already won, we're going to do the last category just for fun. Best match, number 7. Kevin Owens' best match Chris chose is against Dean Ambrose, Royal Rumble 2016, and the last man standing match for the Intercontinental Championship. My match I chose was Sami Zayn versus Adrian Neville NXT Championship match, NXT TakeOver Revolution. We could explain our matches, but Berman has seen both. He knows the story for both. We'll just let him vote right here and end the video off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna give it to the one who actually lost this, Sami Zayn. I think this match was probably one of the best for the NXT Championship, and at the end, it was just so priceless. And technically, after that, Kevin Owens did stab him in the back, so it was pretty one of the most iconic moments for Sami Zayn. So I'm gonna give it to Sami Zayn as probably the best match.
That is completely fair. So Kevin Owens 4, Sami Zayn 3. The person who is the greater wrestler of all time would go to Kevin Owens. So I will just take a second and say both of these wrestlers are great and have contributed a lot to wrestling, whether it is pre-WWE or currently in WWE. So thank you all so much for watching. I've been Daniel.
I've been Berman.
And Chris.
And it's been a more civil one this time, I must say. See you all in the next one.